Welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into a single, incredibly powerful verse from the Bhagavad Gita. It's this tiny moment, a pause, that happens right before a massive, world-changing conflict kicks off. And believe me, this small verse packs a huge lesson. So, let me ask you this. When you're facing a really big, life-altering decision, is your first instinct to act? Or is it to step back and just observe? This is the question at the heart of it all, and it's a dilemma we all face. Right now, the great warrior Arjuna is standing at this very crossroads, and his choice to pause teaches us something absolutely essential. All right, so let's set the scene. We're on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. You've got two huge armies facing off. The horns have already sounded. Everything is about to explode. The tension is just through the roof. Now, just moments before this, in the verses right before our one for today, Arjuna is the perfect picture of a confident warrior, right? He's got his legendary bow, the Gandiva, raised high, and he seems almost impatient for the fight to begin. But then, right here, in verse 22, he stops. Everything grinds to a halt. This is that critical shift from being ready for outward action to this sudden urgent need for inward reflection. So, what did Arjuna actually say? What was this request he made to his charioteer, Krishna, that changed the course of everything? Let's listen to the original Sanskrit first. You can really feel the weight of this moment.
Yāvad etān nirīkṣe'ham yoddhu-kāmān avasthitān kair mayā saha yoddhavyam asmin रणसमुdyame.
Just the sound itself has this incredible gravity to it, doesn't it? Now, let's actually break down what these powerful words mean. So on the surface, what Arjuna is asking for sounds pretty straightforward, like a standard military assessment. But hiding just beneath this simple request is the tiny seed of a huge internal crisis that is going to become the very heart of the entire Bhagavad Gita. He tells Krishna, hey, drive the chariot into that no man's land, right between the two armies. And why? So he can observe. He uses the word nirīkṣe, so he can see who's standing there, all geared up and ready for war. He wants to know exactly who he has to fight. This isn't fear yet. This is a very deliberate choice to get some clarity before he commits to action. Okay, now this is where things get really fascinating. The great philosopher Shankaracharya, way back in the 8th century, he looked at this moment completely differently. For him, this wasn't about military tactics at all. No, this was a profound psychological event. Shankara basically says that this is the moment self-reflection is born. Arjuna puts a hold on action for the sake of clarity. Instead of just rushing forward, driven by his duty as a warrior, he creates a space for real insight to bubble up. Shankara saw this pause as an absolutely necessary step before any truly meaningful action, what we call karma, could even happen. So for Shankara, the key takeaway is that Arjuna isn't just looking at an enemy army. He's actually about to take a hard look at his own inner battlefield. Seeing who stands where becomes a symbol for confronting his own values, his loyalties, his deepest attachments, and all the inner conflicts they stir up. And this is what makes this ancient moment so incredibly relevant for all of us today. This isn't just some story about a warrior in an old epic. This is about you. This is about me. What this verse really teaches us is that before any huge decision, before any major conflict, probably the smartest thing you can do is just create a little distance, step back, get some perspective. Think about it. Conflicts almost never start with the first punch. They start with how we see things, with a perception that locks us onto a certain path. This pause, it's an act of discernment. It's that conscious choice to see reality for what it is before our emotions, our grief, or our own attachments start to cloud our judgment. We all need that moment of pure observation, just like Arjuna, to see clearly. So, Arjuna gets his wish. Krishna, being the master charioteer he is, expertly places the chariot right in the heart of the battlefield, giving Arjuna this perfect, unobstructed view of everyone. But here's the twist. The very clarity he asked for is about to completely shatter him. Because what he sees in the opposing army isn't just some faceless enemy. He sees his grandfathers, his teachers, his uncles, his cousins, his friends. And that leads us to the final lingering question for today. Arjuna asked to see who he must fight. But what happens when the people you have to fight are the very people you love most in the world? What does that clear view really show you about duty, about conflict, and about your own heart. Well, that's where the real teaching of the Gita begins.